Hey, hello everybody. Hello, Rachel.
Hello, everyone, and happy Sunday, and hello to all the entities
Yes, exactly. I was actually
that are
just
listening to us. And so we're going to have a conversation. It's quite a different conversation. What would it take for it to be mainstream? We're going to have a conversation about communicating with the spirit world. And when we talk about the spirit world, of course, it has many characteristics. For this conversation, we're going to talk about, people, entities, people that have died and no longer have a body.
yes, and yeah. So, would you like to maybe talk about like what is talking with entities or talk to the entities?
Yeah. So talk to the entities. It's just such a beautiful body of work. And so a lot of people have massive fear, like huge fear in regard to being aware of the spirit world. And most people have not been, their awareness hasn't even been acknowledged. So then how do you work with your awareness when it has been suppressed and diminished and criticized or judged? And so talk to the entities is you talking to a world, a spirit world where people require contribution, some are contributory. So it's a body of work that is set up to create ease, openness, and clarity with talking to entities. Talk to the entities.
Mhm. And actually, I'm gonna ask like a weird question, but like, why would anybody want to talk with entities?
No, that's not a weird question. It's a great question. So I suppose I'm gonna talk about my personal experience here. I didn't recognize that I'm not going to say recognize. I was able to see entities when I was a child. But not like the way I see you, like shadows, something in the corner of my eye, or an energy would be expressed. I would be aware that somebody was in the room. Do you ever have the sense that somebody is in the room with you? Or when you walk into an old building or an old church? And so I forgot your question. Why would you talk to entities? Oh yeah. So for me, I'm going to say the side effects of being entity aware, my moods were being affected. I would start crying if I went into a house where somebody had died. I had it. My entity awareness was impacting my daily life in a negative way. It wasn't in a beneficial way, and it certainly wasn't worked to my advantage. And so I had these, we call them like symptoms of entity awareness, and they could be moods, attitudes, in my case, depression. I could hear a lot of entities from the past. I particularly have a massive capacity with suicidal entities. And so when I got the tools of talk to the entities, the first thing that changed for me was it's an expression of energy. And so the first question we ask is this an entity? And then, is this an entity? And then for me, it was like, oh my goodness, there are so many entities here, and just acknowledging that I was entity aware was a massive, like leaving 100-kilo weight off my shoulders. And then Shannon O'Hara developed these tools to clear entities. And the basic entity clearing is for identity. Who are you? Who were you before that? And so you're saying to the entity, let's say it's your great grandfather in another lifetime, okay? And his name is Burke. You're saying, hey, Burke, you weren't always Burke. You might have been Rachel in Ireland, or Maureen in Ireland, or you could have been Sheila in Boston, or you could have been Anna in Mexico. So you're taking the person out of their personality, their points of views with their request, and who can you be in the future. So you're dealing with identities, you're dealing with definitions, and this is a beautiful clearing. Who are you? Who are you before that? Who are you before that? Who are you before that? And who can you be in the future? And take all your magnetic imprinting. And that is a lovely way, everything that is, and use the access clearing statement, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, pose and beyonds. Okay.
And you can actually check the access consciousness clearing statement if you didn't understand, or is it sounds like a weird couple of words on
Abracadabra magic.
And happening here, the co-creator of Access Consciousness have a beautiful video that explains in depth, but it's 20 minutes, so we don't gonna go into that right now. And I actually just wanted to like say it was like the tricky question, like I asked like why, because actually with communicating with entities, it's not something that when you come to this class that you learn or you have a new ability. It is actually an ability that you naturally have that we shut down. I know like I personally like shut down because there were so many lies. There were so many, oh, if I actually allow myself to have my ability with communicating with entities, that means that like XYZ, like I will be going to the psychiatrist or I'm crazy, or like one of the things that I was keeping me away, there was so many lies on televisions of
Yeah,
like things that look like is a
yeah,
scary lady or like,
yeah,
and there was like so many like misinformation. But I
yeah.
remember the first time attending a Talk Entities beginning class, and it was just like a sense of peace and a sense of relaxation that I personally didn't get from anywhere else.
Mm,
But it was, I'm gonna say it was allowing myself to have that ability that I knew that I always had. Like I was like, oh, I had this like since I know myself. Like engaging with everything around me, engaging with the trees, like engaging with the animals, and actually being aware of beings
yeah.
that don't have a body anymore. And like for me, just allowing myself to have that, like just actually having that, like
Mm.
created like so much more space, so much more ease, and actually allow me to expand so many different areas of my life. Like my financial reality is starting to expand, my relationships starting to get greater. I started to become like way more peaceful, and I starting to receive like so much more, because like for me it's just there's such an amazing and world out there that is looking to engage with you. And like what would your life be like if you're willing to open that door and explore that possibility for you?
And I'm going to say, when you asked me, like, why would you talk to entities? For me, I am going to say that it was birthed from necessity. We talk about like necessity is the birth of all creation. Um, and so I found myself that I could hear voices in my head. That was the way my entity awareness was expressed. And I actually thought that I was going insane because I could hear all these voices in my head. And I did go to a psychiatric ward and they told me go home. They could do nothing for me. I met a beautiful nurse. It's a miracle story. I'll go into it another time. Basically, I found someone who said, we can't do anything for you in here. And I left that ward. And so for me, it was birthed from I had heard voices in my head. I didn't have the information that if you hear voices in your head, ask a question, is this entities? So I was aware of the beings who no longer had bodies, their voices. And then I met Shannon O'Hara. I found Talk to the Entities. One thing I know about people in the world is if they require and desire information, they will find it. So I found it. And so why would you not talk to entities is my question. How would you like to be treated when you die? So for me, I always bring it back to how would you like to be treated when you die? Would you like to be unseen and unacknowledged? Or would it be a gift for you to treat people that no longer have bodies the way you would like to be treated, And so for me, instead of my entity awareness being difficult, like crazy, wrong, it is now shifted to me being proud of this capacity and ability that I can talk to the spirit world and
Mm,
that I can use these clearings, jobs and identity clearings What was your job? What were you before that? What were you before that? And what can you be in the future? Because a lot of entities have jobs to stick to houses and buildings. They might be waiting for their family to come back, or, someone might be on a war field. They might have been killed in, a tragedy. And so for me, it's like, what a gift to gift someone who is stuck in the points of views that they had when they were a body. What a gift to be able to contribute consciousness, because it is about being this. And it's really challenging to talk about being and to talk about it in words, but being has no feelings, it has no emotions, it has this space of ease and peace and possibility. And for what reason would you not contribute to the spirit world? And a lot of people that I meet in the Talk to the Entities classes, just like me, they completely doubt their capacity because they've been made wrong for it. So a lot of the times they're moving through points of views that was pushed into their world that are simply not true. And and let's be really honest about what we're looking to create here with the spirit world. Is we are looking to create a wave of change where we go beyond fear that, oh my God, there's my uncle, that we come out of this contraction and we go more expansive and spherical in this awareness, so that we can actually go beyond fear, doubt, blaming entities. A lot of people blame entities for things they choose in their life. Blame, shame, we go beyond all these distractor implants, and we actually have ease and openness and clarity and tools that allow you to, first of all, acknowledge that you're aware, and second of all, work with this awareness. This is not taught in schools. What would it take? I would love for everybody to know that there are tools available to support you to, first of all, acknowledge that you are aware of the spirit world. Even if you've been gaslit and made wrong, something different is available. And second of all, work with that awareness. And then for me, like you, all the crazy is gone, the mood swings, the attitudes, the crying, the feelings, the judgments. Not all the time. Sometimes judgment can still pop up. And I have been gifted so much from the spirit world. I have been gifted, like the house that I'm staying in right now at the beach in Zealand is a gift, And so we invite you to talk to entities, communicating with entities. And we invite you to explore what this is for you. And you do actually learn and get educated on the way that you can talk to the spirit world, talk to the entities.
Yeah, and actually there's a beautiful communication chart if you when you join, that you can actually walk through, like Rachel shared, the very basic tagged entities or entity clearing that you can use. And one of the things with tagged entities, still until this day, I think I'm using the tools for years now, or maybe a little bit more, and it doesn't make any sense at all. But every time that I run them, it just makes my body relax, my being more expansive, and I'm starting to become more calmer. So use the tools, see what it creates for you, and then you can come on to the class. And if you get that after you use the basic clearing, that you require a little bit more maybe communicating with the entity, because if you are doing the basic clearings and the energy is a little bit shifting but not totally, not to the space that is possible, then maybe it's time to communicate.
Have a chat.
That is, it's just a beautiful chart that you will be gifted, and you can actually use, and it will be with you forever. So if any place that you go and you are aware of something and you go, hey, actually, is there an entity that here is looking to communicate with me? You can just open the chart and start using, and Rachel will actually walk you through it, so and you're clear of how to use that as well. So how does it get any better? The class will be today at 6 p.m., which is 6 hours from now, 6 p.m. Europe time, and we have Hungarian translation, and I will be popping the link into the comments so you can register with Totalies.
Beautiful. We invite you to your capacity and your ability. And yeah, I suppose the big thing that I can just share, how would you like to be treated when you die, and how do you treat the dead? Beautiful. Come join us.
Hey, beautiful. Thanks so much, everybody. I hope that
Bye.
was a contribution for you. Bye.
Bye to all the entities.
Yeah, bye.